8. This is your morning in 8 minutes. New video coming into our newsroom of the Hatcher Mountain fire. The Walton's Creek Fire Department sharing these images, helmet video, to show how fast the flames were spreading a week ago. The good news this morning, this fire is completely contained. And take a look at this video from one woman's security camera. She says the cabins on her street are gone, but hers is still standing. You can see the fire raging what looks like just feet away from her front porch. In all, 2,498 acres burned. 219 structures are affected. Officials say that number changed from 300 because of duplicate counts.
Meanwhile, the Millstone Gap fire now 90% contained, and total acreage burned about 959 acres. Officials say the acreage increase is because of backfiring operations to clear fuel in advance of the wildfire and steep terrain. All roads there are open again. Still only 2 structures affected in this fire. And Sevier County officials are now working to find out just how much damage these wildfires caused. The county has until Friday before they have to submit an official assessment to the state to receive money to help rebuild. The county's vice mayor says the only people who will most likely qualify for federal funding would be those who had their primary home destroyed. If you are looking to help those rebuild and get back on their feet, we have all the information right now in your WVLT News app.
And on the North Carolina side of the Smokies, Haywood County officials say a wildfire in Sheepback Mountain is fully contained. This is in the Maggie Valley area. Crews say no one is hurt and there are no reports of any property damage. Emergency services say the fire burned around 300 acres of land in just 24 hours. Well, right now in Jefferson County, people tell us they don't have enough safe water to drink or bathe in.
This is happening in the Chestnut Hill community where there are no public water lines. Instead, people use water from wells or springs. Recent tests show water in that area came back positive for E. coli. Families are forced to buy jugs of water just to bathe and cook with. The Witt Utility District now asking residents to pay $750 to tap into public lines plus a monthly rate. A community meeting is being held on Saturday.
Continuing coverage this morning, police arrested a second person in connection with the deadly shooting at a Dollar General parking lot. Jaquan Gillette died. Police charged Shawnee Harris and now a 17-year-old for attempted first-degree murder and attempted aggravated robbery. Police say they were in the parking lot for a drug deal when another group of people both started shooting at each other. And Jaquan Gillette is the older brother of Jamarian Gillette, the Austin East High School student who was shot and killed last year. And this morning, a 4-year-old girl is still recovering after a stray bullet hit her while she was sleeping inside a home. Jemiah Watson is in the hospital using a walker. Knoxville police are still trying to figure out where the shot came from, but they don't think the home was the intended target. The home is along Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. If you know anything, contact Crime Stoppers. And additional law enforcement is at Carpenter's Middle School in Maryville this morning after someone there made a threat.
School officials are working with the Blount County Sheriff's Office to find out where it came from. They say the extra deputies are a safety precaution. We'll let you know when we learn new details.
And happening today, the White House is expected to announce an extension on the pause of student loan payments.
If you're in the process of making payments, you're going to get a few months of extra relief. The pause is expected to be extended through the end of August. Balances on student loans have been effectively frozen for more than 2 years now, with no payments required. It is set to impact most loans except some older ones, known as federal family education loans, which are not technically held by the government. Meanwhile, the White House is also expected to announce new sanctions against Russia today.
These sanctions will target Russia's ability to fund the war in Ukraine. They'll also ban any new investment in Russia and impose additional penalties on government officials and their family members. The Biden administration is also sending an additional $100 million worth of military equipment to Ukraine. And covering your health this morning, today advisors from the FDA are scheduled to discuss COVID-19 booster shots. Just last week, the FDA expanded the emergency use authorization of 2 vaccines, so people 50 years and older can get a second booster shot as early as 4 months after the first one. Today, they will discuss all other age groups and if the vaccine will become an annual shot.
A grocery store in California is accused of illegally raising the price of eggs and will now pay thousands of dollars in penalties. The state's attorney general says when the pandemic started, grocery chain Smart & Final marked up their egg products by more than 10%. That is beyond the legal amount allowed. They will now pay $175,000 in price gouging penalties.
Around East Tennessee this morning, today you can find your children some new clothes for the spring and summer, all at a great price.
It's the Duck Duck Goose consignment sale. Everything is up to 90% off retail prices. Toys, shoes, books, strollers, everything parents need from preemies to teens. The sale starts this morning at 10 o'clock at the Knoxville Expo Center. It runs until Saturday afternoon.
Well, WVLT is proud to be your official station of the Vols. The top-ranked baseball team looks ahead now to a weekend series against Missouri after winning their 20th straight game last night against Lipscomb. Pitcher Blade Tidwell made his return after suffering an injury before the season started. The Vols welcome the Tigers to Knoxville on Friday night. First pitch is at 6:30. And on the hardwood, all SEC point guard Kennedy Chandler is taking his talents to the next level. The Memphis native is declaring for the NBA draft after leading the Vols to an SEC title this past season. He says he has hired an agent.
And getting a look at your first alert traffic, you want to be mindful that there is some patches of dense fog lowering your visibility along I-75 up in Whitley County. Use caution if you're headed that way. Get those low beams on. We want to let you know that an early morning crash on I-40 eastbound just east of 25W is cleared in Jefferson County. No delays if you are headed that way. If you're just getting out the door, we're not tracking any wrecks, but that volume is building quickly. Those interstates are on time, heading toward downtown Knoxville. 40 eastbound, moving 69 miles an hour.
6:55 before we leave you this morning, we want to remind you this is a first alert weather day and really starts this evening for strong to severe storms. And most of you are going to know when you see red on this map, this is not a good sign because we have an enhanced risk for strong to severe storms. Crossville, Wartburg, down to parts of Kingston, Lenore City, Madisonville, Athens, Maryville, Blount County, your parts of Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Seymour, over to Jefferson City, all under the gun this evening for strong to severe storms, really starting about 6 o'clock and going until midnight. Now, out the door this morning, you're going to run into some patchy dense fog from West Knox County into parts of Union County, Claiborne County, Campbell County, and into southeastern Kentucky as well if you're headed up Interstate 75. We're at 51 Loudon, Lenore City, 52 for Von Orr. Downtown Knoxville checks in at 50 this morning. There's the radar and cloud track with those clouds that are streaming in. This is the line of storms that we are watching as it marches on off to the east here over the next couple of hours. If you're with me in Pigeon Forge this afternoon, we're looking at temperatures that get into the 80s. That just gives us that fuel that we need for these storms. We do clear it out a little bit heading into Thursday, but significantly cooler. And Friday into Saturday, make sure you are getting those plants prepared for a cold part of the weekend.
All right, you gotta love spring in East Tennessee.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us for WVLT News. We're headed on over to WBXX. We hope to see you there.
Bye, y'all. Be careful.